Philippines gained full independence in 1946 after the Spanish colonial period in the 15,000s, US influence in 1898, and the Japanese occupation of the Philippines from 1942 to 1945. The history of trading and industry in the Philippines started way back during the 15th century, where Chinese and Arab merchants roamed the coast of the country and traveled to different places where people settle, which is called barangay, and tried to sell or trade products. Often trades where slaves, beeswax, and gold and silver were exchanged for porcelain, iron, lead, tin, silks, and other products. Since then, the trading of products in the Philippines was thriving because of the abundant resources that the country has, making the connection between the Chinese and others a very relevant role in the early growth of the trading industry of the Philippines. When the Spaniards came to the Philippines, affecting the ways of trading and made the country one of the crucial points in the global economy. Galleon trade was introduced during the Spaniards' occupation in the Philippines for trading or business from 1565 to 1815. The ships came and went from Manila to Acapulco and were considered the longest shipping line in history. Only two galleons were used. One sailed from Acapulco to Manila with some 500,000 pesos worth of goods, spending 120 days at sea. The other sailed from Manila to Acapulco with some 250,000 pesos worth of goods, spending 90 days at sea. The Chinese were the ones who centered on the trading industry, as they also provided supplies for shipbuilding, materials to the military. The Philippine commerce at the time continued to be transshipping operation, but attracted foreign merchants to import products and allowed local merchants to export the native products of the country overseas.
The formation of a certain department to supervise the growth and development of trading and industries in the Philippines was issued and changed from time to time. On June 23, year 1898, President Emilio F. Aguinaldo formed the Department of Commerce in order to supervise the trade and industry in the Philippines. On October 4, year 1947, President Manuel A. Rojas issued the Executive Order 94, which established the Department of Commerce and Industry to develop and promote the trade and industry of the country under the overall supervision of the Department of Agriculture and Commerce. On June 21, year 1974, to have a closer supervision and ensure more effective delivery of services, President Ferdinand E. Marcos issued Prosecutorial Discretion 488, creating the Department of Industry, whose principal function was to promote and enhance the growth of existing and thriving industries in the country.
Different laws and policies are also created to safeguard and protect the rights of the traders, business owners, and consumers, and to continue in further contribution to the Philippine economy. Some of these policies are Letter of Instruction Number 1307 S 1983, Importations and Direct Payments. Act Number 3883, regulating the use in business transactions of names other than true names, prescribing the duties of the Director of the Bureau of Commerce and Industry in its enforcement, providing penalties for violation thereof, and for other purposes. Republic Act Number 10817, an act instituting the Philippines Halal Export Development and Promotion Program, creating for the purpose of the Philippine Halal Export Development and Promotion Board, and for other purposes. Department Administrative Order Number 3, S 2009, implementing rules and regulation on the tariff rate quota, availment for Philippine imports of tin plate, hot-rolled and cold-rolled steel from Japan under the Japan-Philippines Economic Partnership Agreement or JPEPA. Department Administrative Order Number 7, S 2006, instituting the simplified and uniform rules for procedure for administrative cases filed with the Department of Trade and Industry for violation of the Consumer Act of the Philippines and other trade and industry laws. Republic Act No. 6647, an act further restructuring the import duty rates and classification of certain articles under Section 104 of the Tariff and Custom Code of 1978, Prosecutorial Discretion 1464 as amended. Department Administrative Order No. 15-01 S 2015 measures to facilitate the issuance of the import commodity clearance. Department Administrative Order No. 12 S 1995 Rules and Regulation implementing RA No. 7882 entitled An Act Providing Assistance to Women Engaging in Micro and Cottage Businesses Enterprises and for other purposes. Republic Act No. 7844, Export Development Act of 1994, an act to develop export as a key towards the achievement of the national goals toward the years 2000. Republic Act No. 11293, an act adopting innovation as a vital component of the country's development policies to drive inclusive development, promote growth and national competitiveness of micro, small, and medium enterprises, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes. Department Administrative Order No. 14-5 S 2014 implementing rules and regulation for Republic Act No. 10644, an act promoting job generation and inclusive growth through development of micro, small, and medium enterprises, otherwise known as Go Negosyo Act. PSB Administrative Order No. 6 S 2005 Philippine Shippers Bureau revised rules on freight forwarding. Executive Order No. 133 DTI Law reorganizing the Department of Trade and Industry, its attached agency, and for other purposes.
Labor's power to affect policy can be measured by comparison with the situation in the West at a similar stage of growth and with the other political forces in Philippine society, the strengths of which fluctuate with the course of economic development. The ideological and economic environments have also been important in determining labor's policy influencing role. In sum, we can say that the Philippine policy, which allows considerable freedom for union organization and collective bargaining, is the result of one factor common to underdeveloped Asia: the strength of labor unions in relation to the emergent national entrepreneurial class. One uncommon one, an economy almost without inflation and dominated by private enterprise, and one with both general and unique characteristics, foreign intervention, and ideological influences. The ideological clock cannot be turned back. The political and economic right of labor are firmly entrenched in the democratic philosophies which have been adopted in ex-colonial countries. They can be covertly frustrated by the elite, but not overtly denied. They may also be de-emphasized by the discipline of a vehement nationalism.
Naturally, labor is one of the resources needed to produce a certain product or offer a specific service in an economy. For businesses or companies to innovate and become productive to meet their demands, the contribution of workers is required. The labor market is about the interaction between people supplying labor services and businesses demanding worker services. And this is a quite important in the contribution to the economy's growth. But how?
In the Philippines, or mostly in all countries, we can assume that the greater an economy's average level of education, the greater its cumulative human capital, and that number of human capital is needed for an economy to develop. If the number of people that have jobs or offer jobs increases in an economy, the gross domestic products per capita will also increase. Now, we can say that the result of GDP is affected by the way the labor market works. And to have a stable developed GDP per capita, then we should also focus on how important the labor market is. However, it is not enough that we have a greater number of human capital or labor. Their productivity also matters.
As the workers continue to contribute their unique skills and talents and abilities, their productivity should also be enhanced or developed through training and benefits or wages. Labor productivity is how efficient the worker's performance will be to meet the demand. Like if the labor productivity is low, then the process of production will be slow and will have negative impact on the economy. Just like how the Philippines belong among countries with slow labor productivity performance last 2019 from the data of the World Bank's World Development Indicators. Labor productivity has great impacts, like if a business has a great labor productivity, it increases their profits and opens the doors for greater opportunities and investments. Usually, the amount of money employers are willing to pay the employees is determined by the value of the products they produce to assure the productivity of the workers, as productivity per hour is the most important determinant of average wage level in any economy.
Hello po, Sir Arman. Ano po yung trabaho nyo?
Isa po akong Grab driver.
Grab driver. Ano po yung ginagawa o mga responsibilidad ng isang Grab driver?
Siyempre, pag may nag-booking sa akin, pinupunta ko ang pick-up point nila.
Tapos hinahatid niyo po.
Tapos, sinakay ko sa drop point nila kung saan nila pupunta.
Okay po. Ano-ano naman po yung responsibilidad nyo bago kayo pumasok at pagka-uwi nyo galing trabaho?
Ayun, i-check ko muna yung mga sasakyan. Baka may mga naiwan gamit. Mga pasahero ko. Check ko bago
Biyahe.
bago papasok ng bahay.
Ito naman po, ano po kaya anong opinion nyo tungkol sa hindi pantay-pantay na minimum wage sa bawat rehiyon?
Kung hindi ako agree dyan sa pantay-pantay. Gusto ko pantay-pantay lahat. Probinsya ko. Si Arman. Kasi para sa lang gastos ng Gusto si dito Probinsya, mahal rin Gusto ko pantay-pantay. Si Arman mo Calabarzon. Probinsya. So, pantay yung sahod nila. Minimum wage.
Pamilyar po ba kayo sa union o organisasyon sa inyong kumpanya?
Hindi ako pamilyar. Wala kasi kami niya.
Okay. Sa tingin nyo po, sapat po ba yung sahod nyo kumpara sa pagod at oras na binibigay nyo sa trabaho?
Sapat naman po. At saka yung pahinga ko okay naman. Mahaba naman.
Kampante ka naman po ba sa trabaho mo ngayon?
Yes, kampante.
Nakikita nyo po ba yung sarili nyo na nasa parehong kumpanya pa rin kayo sa susunod na taon?
Depende. Pero kung para sa akin, sunod taon, okay pa naman. Kaya ko. Diyan pa rin ako. Gagawa pa lang ako ng gagawa.
Okay.
Ganda naman ang kita.
Thank you po, Sir Arman.
Now, with the use of the labor market, workers are now able to contribute their skills and talents to produce products or services. And with good labor productivity, workers can produce efficiently and effectively, resulting in high productivity growth. Sustaining the high productivity growth means developing growth rate for an economy, and it creates opportunities for employment growth of a country. Workforce is very important because they are the backbone of companies to operate efficiently. And without the contribution of workers, no companies will survive to meet their demands and gain profit from it. And it will result the economy of a country will fall.
We hope that you were able to learn and understand the issue. And we are always here to give you the best knowledge, facts, and explanations.
I am Jeremy.
And I am Chrisman. This is
This is
UM Documentaries.